Okay, I guess Charlie Kirk is no longer with us. What?
Good morning, everybody.
How many people do they need to stand next to a podium?
My name is Joseph Nocella. I am the
What a name.
United States Attorney for the Eastern District of New York.
Great.
I'd like to welcome you here today. In addition, we have with us today FBI Director Kash Patel, FBI Assistant Director in Charge Christopher Rea of the New York Field Office, Special Agent in Charge of the New York Field Office, Leslie Bakshies, New York Special Agent in Charge of Homeland Security, Ricky Patel, Newark Special Agent in Charge of Homeland Security, Michael McCarty, Police Commissioner Jessica Tisch, Chief of Detectives Joseph Kenny, and the Executive Director of the Waterfront Commission, Phoebe Sorrell. I'm now going to turn the podium over to FBI Director Kash Patel.
Good morning. Today we are here in New York to announce a historic arrest across a wide-sweeping criminal enterprise that envelops both the NBA and La Cosa Nostra. The men and women up here standing with me represent a small portion of the leadership team that brought profound justice in an era that needed it more than any. I'll just highlight some of the details in the case and the FBI work, and then you'll hear from the others. But as you now know, individuals such as Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones, and Terry Rozier were taken into custody today, former, current NBA players and coaches. What you don't know is that this is an illegal gambling operation and sports rigging operation that spanned the course of years. The FBI led a coordinated takedown across 11 states to arrest over 30 individuals today responsible for this case, which is very much ongoing. Not only did we crack into the fraud that these perpetrators committed on the grand stage of the NBA, but we also entered and executed a system of justice against La Cosa Nostra to include the Bonanno, Gambino, Genovese, and Lucchesi crime families. And you'll hear more about those details today. The charges and the arrests that were taken down across this country range from wire fraud, money laundering, extortion, robbery, illegal gambling. This FBI will leave no room for any perpetrator of crime across the country. You hear a lot about our work of defending the homeland and crushing violent crime. Well, this work is also representative of a colossal portion of the FBI's mandate to keep America safe and to keep our entertainment industry fair and secure. The men and women that are standing up here today worked tireless hours, days, months.
Listening to you feels like working tireless hours.
Months and years.
God.
And the fraud is mind-boggling. It's not hundreds of dollars. It's not thousands of dollars. It's not tens of thousands of dollars.
It's millions.
It's not even millions of dollars.
It's billions.
We're talking about tens of millions of dollars in fraud and
You could have just said tens of millions.
theft and robbery
Did we have to start at pennies?
across a multi-year investigation. And we could not have done it without our interagency partners that are before us today. The NYPD, HSI, and teams of law enforcement officials from around the country made this day possible. It takes a team to bring this kind of justice, sweeping justice, into the halls of the United States courtrooms, where our brave United States Attorney has led this prosecution. It takes courageous prosecutors to stand before you and say, we will not allow this kind of illicit activity to happen. Not only.
Okay, I probably could care less. Jesus Christ.
The candidates joining us tonight have met a fundraising threshold.
And thecity.nyc. It's in Spanish on Spectrum Noticias and YouTube.
The candidates joining us tonight have met a fundraising threshold established by the Campaign Finance Board. The seat is currently held by Eric Adams, who has decided not to run for re-election. In alphabetical order, Andrew Cuomo is a former governor of New York running on an independent line. Zohran Mamdani is the Democratic nominee, representing parts of Queens in the state assembly since 2021. And Curtis Sliwa is the Republican nominee and the founder of the Guardian Angels.
Now for the rules. The rules you see on your screen right now have been agreed to by all of the candidates. Each candidate will deliver an opening statement of up to 45 seconds, and then answers to our questions will generally be limited to 60 seconds with a chance for rebuttals. Candidates will have an opportunity to ask one opponent one question in our cross-examination round. So let's begin. This will be the last time all three candidates will be together on stage. The next mayor will be sworn into office 71 days from now on January 1st, 2026. He will inherit a city with an affordability crisis, a tense relationship with the federal government, and millions of New Yorkers who very likely did not support him. Let's begin our debate with your opening statements to viewers. You have 45 seconds. The order was determined by a random drawing on live television this morning, and we'll begin with Curtis Sliwa. Good evening.
Thank you. It's us versus them. It's us versus the insiders and the billionaires. It's us versus Cuomo. It's us versus Zohran. This is a campaign not about power. This is a campaign about you, the people. And I know many of you hardworking New Yorkers, you tell me you've been pushed aside, you've been silenced. These are the people that have all the money, all the connections. They've made their backroom deals, but we have something more important. We have you, the people. And we're not going to be silenced anymore. We're going to fight. Tonight, I want you to look at the content of my policies, to know that I've served this city for more than 50 years, the city that I love. And I'm going to share with you my vision to make New York City safer again, to make New York City more affordable again, and where everybody once again can live the American dream.
Thank you. Next is Andrew Cuomo. Good evening.
Thank you. Good evening. New York's first, thank you to the moderators. Thank you all for being here. And go Knicks, go Knicks, go Knicks. I hope we get an update on the score. New York is the greatest city on the globe, but we are at a pivotal moment. And the voters are going to have to decide in this election what candidate has the plan to save this city and what candidate can get it done, not just talk about it. My main opponent has no new ideas. He has no new plan. It's Bill de Blasio rehash, and we know how that turned out. He's never run anything, managed anything. He's never had a real job. I will hire 5,000 new police, build 500,000 new units. I will cut taxes. I will grow jobs. And I will end this hate-mongering and division that is tearing this city apart, because that's not who we are as New Yorkers. You know I can make change. You know I can make government work. I've done it before. I'll be ready on day one.
Okay, thank you. Next is Zohran Mamdani. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you to the moderators, and thank you to New Yorkers for tuning in. I know you'd rather be watching the Knicks. While there are three candidates on this stage, you will hear only two messages. My opponents, who spend more time trying to convince the other to drop out than actually proposing their own policies, will speak only of the past, because that's all that they know. I am the sole candidate running with a vision for the future of this city. Andrew Cuomo will spend much of tonight attacking me. He is a desperate man, lashing out because he knows that the one thing he's always cared about, power, is now slipping away from him. He will amplify right-wing talking points, he will share conspiracy theories, and he will do these things to make you feel that this should keep you up at night. But I've been spending the last year listening to New Yorkers, and I know what actually keeps you up. It's whether or not you can afford to live a safe and dignified life in this city. I have plans for our future. My opponents only have fear.
Thank you very much, candidates. Let's start tonight with some breaking news that happened yesterday afternoon when federal agents descended on Canal Street, arresting street vendors who have been selling counterfeit designer merchandise for as long as any of us can remember. This is the first time we've seen major federal law enforcement activity in the city outside of arrests at Immigration Court in Lower Manhattan. And some critics are now ringing an alarm bell, calling it a dangerous and unprecedented use of federal agents in New York City. Others say that the vendors were a major quality of life problem in the neighborhood that the NYPD had ignored. So the candidate, I'll ask each of you to respond to this. How should the mayor and the NYPD have handled both the presence of the street vendors and then the federal action? We'll start with you, Mr. Cuomo.
I've had a lot of dealings with President Trump. And there's only one way to deal with him. He puts his finger in your chest, and you have to put your finger right back in his chest. I've actually had this situation with ICE interfering in New York before. It was upstate New York where ICE just showed up and started to take action. And I called the president, and I went down to the White House, and I said, that doesn't work in New York. You don't send ICE in without coordinating with our police. It's not smart, it's duplicative, and it's dangerous. We don't need ICE to do quality of life crimes. We don't need them to worry about illegal vendors. That's a basic policing function for NYPD, Consumer Affairs, etc. I would have called the president and I would have said, look, you're way out of bounds, they're way out of bounds, call them back or I'm going to have the NYPD step in and stop them because this is not their jurisdiction. You're in the city of New York.
Okay, Mr. Mamdani.
ICE is a reckless entity that cares little for the law and even less for the people that they're supposed to serve. What we need to be doing here in our city is to end the chapter of collaboration between City Hall and the federal government, which we've seen under Mayor Adams. What we need to do is actually pass the street vending reform bills that have been in the city council, some of which that this mayor has actually overridden. That's an example of how we can both protect street vendors, ensure quality of life, and leave no stone unturned in delivering for the people of this city, as opposed to working with a president who is looking to declare war on those same people.
Mr. Sliwa.
Unlike both of my adversaries, I've patrolled that area many times, Church and Canal. And as you said, Errol, that activity has been going on for a long time. Selling the knockoff, sometimes stolen contraband by a series of people. The local 5th Precinct, they make arrests when they have obviously cause to do so, and they complain that they have to release them because of no cash bail, of which both of my adversaries are in favor of and I'm not. The feds should not have stepped into this situation. There is not communication between the local authorities and the feds. This is a matter that should have been left up to the NYPD. But we can't tolerate citizens attacking our federal law enforcement forces in the street because then that will just lead to anarchy.
Let me ask a related question. President Trump has been commenting on this race and all of you on a regular basis. He's been less than glowing when talking about each of you, especially you, Mr. Mamdani. I'd like you each to describe whatever combination of defiance, diplomacy, and cooperation you will use as mayor if President Trump continues to increase the federal government's role in the affairs of our city while also threatening to decrease funding. Start with you this time, Mr. Sliwa.
Well, both my adversaries have decided to bump chests with President Trump to prove who's more macho. You can't beat Trump. He holds most of the cards. He's already cut federal funding for Medicaid, for the SNAP program, and is threatening to cut funds for NYCHA. So if you're all of a sudden going to get adversarial, you're going to lose. And who gets hurt? The people of New York City. With Trump, it's always the art of the deal. You have to go, you have to try to negotiate, whether it's with his minions or himself. He'll want you to give in order to get a little bit. But if you immediately act like you're going to take him on, like, you know, it's going to be a one-on-one fight, we're going to lose. All the people in New York City are going to lose. You have to be able to show respect. And I think if you show respect, you'll get respect, and you'll protect the New Yorkers who are so desperately in need of federal funds. What's the good of it? They'll bump chests with Donald Trump. They won't get the money, and then they'll blame Donald Trump. I will negotiate with Donald Trump and try to get the best deal possible for our poor and indigent citizens.
Okay, Mr. Cuomo.
Yeah, the difference on this question is I've actually lived it and I've done it with President Trump over many years through the most difficult situation that this country has gone through, COVID plus. You're wrong. You're going to have to confront President Trump. He is hyper-aggressive, and he is going to overstep his bounds. And you are going to have to confront him. And you can beat him. I confronted him, and I have beaten him. He was going to quarantine New York during COVID, and I stopped him. He was going to cut aid to federal programs, and I stopped him. But you also want to be in a place where you can cooperate on good things, because we need federal help if we're going to save our city and rebuild our city. President Trump has to respect you. He sent the National Guard into 20 cities. City he didn't send it into? New York. Because I talked to him and I said, we don't need you here. He has said he'll take over New York if Mamdani wins, and he will, because he has no respect for him. He thinks he's a kid and he's going to knock him on his tuchus. So it is a balance, but you're going to have to be adversarial when you need to, but you want to cooperate to get good things done in this city, and you need federal help.
Mamdani.
We first just heard from the Republican candidate for mayor, and then we heard from Donald Trump's puppet himself, Andrew Cuomo. You could turn on TV any day of the week, and you will hear Donald Trump share that his pick for mayor is Andrew Cuomo. And he wants Andrew Cuomo to be the mayor, not because it will be good for New Yorkers, but because it will be good for him. Look, Donald Trump ran on 3 promises. He ran on creating the single largest deportation force in American history. He ran on going after his political enemies, and he ran on lowering the cost of living. If he wants to talk to me about the 3rd piece of that agenda, I will always be ready and willing. But if he wants to talk about how to pursue the 1st and 2nd piece of that agenda at the expense of New Yorkers, I will fight him every single step of the way.
Okay. Short rebuttal from Mr. Cuomo.
That's not what Donald Trump said. Donald Trump does an analysis of the race. Donald Trump, I believe, wants Mamdani. That is his dream, because he will use him politically all across the country, and he will take over New York City. Make no mistake. It will be President Trump and Mayor Trump, and he will come in and take over the city. I have no doubt. All he said was, his analysis is after the polls, it's a tough choice between a Democrat and a communist. And he considers Mamdani a communist. He happens to be a socialist. But between a communist and a Democrat, it's a tough choice for him.
Okay. All right. Thank you, candidates. Brian wants to talk to you about some important issues on the minds of New Yorkers.
Hi, candidates. Thank you for coming tonight. Yeah, and the cost of living is our next topic. You've all cited it as a major factor, and of course so many New Yorkers are experiencing this, especially when it comes to rising housing costs. And many New Yorkers were shocked this week as a new report from the group Advocates for Children revealed that about 154,000 New York City public school students have been homeless at some point during the last year. 65,000 lived in homeless shelters. Even more were in doubled-up situations with no home of their own. It's never been over 150,000 before, they tell us. And it amounts to 1 in 7 New York City kids. As mayor, how would each of you tackle this problem to help this vulnerable population? And in this round, we're going to go Mr. Mamdani, Mr. Cuomo, Mr. Sliwa. So Mr. Mamdani, you go first.
This is a stain on our city. To see this many children in our public school system be homeless, and to know that this is the 9th consecutive year that it's more than 100,000 of those children. What we need to do is ensure that next year is not the same. And we are going to do that by building the housing necessary such that New Yorkers are not priced out of this city or forced to live in shelters. And that's why my campaign is going to deliver 200,000 new affordable homes across the 5 boroughs, all while freezing the rent for more than 2 million rent-stabilized tenants. Now, in the public school system, we also have a program called Every Child and Family is Known. It links a child who is living in a homeless shelter with an employee of the public school system. It also links that employee with the child's family. It's been shown to increase attendance records, self-esteem, a level of belonging in that school system. I am going to increase that pilot program to more than 200 schools, and we're going to do it because we have to deliver for these children.
Mr. Cuomo. Yeah. Zoran is a great actor. He missed his calling. Freeze the rent sounds great. Yeah, it affects about 25% of the number of housing units in the city of New York. It's not a new idea. Bill de Blasio did it. It turned out to be a debacle. And it does nothing for 75% of the units. And for the 25, it just postpones the increase and actually causes us to lose units because landlords took them off the market.
Jump in and ask you to address the homeless children question, and we will get to rent freeze.
Yeah, well, the answer to homeless children is you need more affordable housing. And I'm saying freeze the rent was done under de Blasio. It doesn't work. It's a canard and just a great three-word slogan for TikTok. The way to increase availability of affordable housing is to build affordable housing. I was the HUD secretary. I did it all across the country. We have 1% vacancy rate. We're not building enough affordable housing, and you need a competent, productive government to do that. And that's what I've done across the country, across the state. Make government work. You get the supply up, the rents will come down.
Thank you, Mr. Sliwa. Okay, Mr. Mamdani, you were named, so you get 30 seconds.
We are in the 9th consecutive year of more than 100,000 children in the New York City public school system being homeless. That means it began when Andrew Cuomo was the governor. And what did he do? What did he do about it? He did not do anything. He spent more money on a singing water fountain at LaGuardia Airport than he did on the average cost of an affordable housing unit. That is the record that we have in display, and what we need is a change in this city, not more of the same.
Yeah, but if I may, the homeless issue, number of homeless since I left, has more than doubled during his administration and the state's administration. Since I left, homeless rate has more than doubled. When I left, the vacancy rate on housing was 4.5%. It's now 1%. This man never even proposed a bill on housing or education. Never even proposed a bill.
Let's keep going back and forth between the two of you. Mr. Sliwa, it's your turn.
Andrew, you didn't leave. You fled from being impeached by the Democrats in the state legislature. Leave. You fled. But let's get back on topic, because I'm the only candidate up here who's been into many of the over 300 Department of Homeless Services shelters, and the family shelters are unsafe for the families there. We have to make them safer. We have to bring teachers into the shelter. Many times, the mothers or the guardian have to get on bus after bus and take them to a school that's 2 or 2.5 hours away. This is a horror situation that's taking place. And we have to prioritize this, because this number of homeless children is going to grow. It takes 5 years to build affordable housing. We need to address it in the shelters itself, to be able to handle it so that the teachers can come in, whether they're public school teachers, charter school teachers, and I know there are a number of parochial school teachers who love children who would volunteer their efforts to do that.
We're going to give it to Katie Honan now to ask about another aspect of affordable housing.
We're going to switch to the millions of New Yorkers who are renters, specifically those in rent-regulated apartments.
Blood sport.
There are more than 1 million New Yorkers living in these units, most of them rent stabilized. Mr. Mamdani, you've proposed a rent freeze for these tenants. Mr. Cuomo, you don't support that, and you've proposed a new means test for having a rent stabilized apartment. Mr. Mamdani, our question, how can you know in advance what the balance between landlord needs and tenant needs will be in future years? We've seen a lot of inflation in recent years. Haven't small landlords felt that pinch as well? And then we have other questions for the other candidates.
You know, we've seen time and again mayors use their power with the Rent Guidelines Board to hike the rent on those same more than 2 million New Yorkers. This same Rent Guidelines Board did a study that found that landlords of those units had seen their profits increase by more than 12%. Their response? Hike the rent on rent.
Is this even worth it?
Rent-stabilized tenants who have a median household income of $60,000. I believe that tenants across our city deserve relief, and I also believe that city government can work to alleviate the pressures for landlords of those units without having to put that burden on.
Man, how did we just talk about homeless children for like 10 minutes, grandstanding and all, for everyone involved, and then just immediately go, but like the landlord, what about them? I mean, the balance right now is obviously not against them, so maybe who the fuck cares for a bit? Let's tip it back a little.
On those same tenants, it's
Who the fuck cares?
Possible to keep New Yorkers in this city and to help landlords with rising insurance costs.
Yeah, I think they can afford it, but I mean, there's all like a bunch of different interconnected issues here, especially the insurance part.
Water bills, Con Edison, and a broken property tax system.
What is the property tax system in New York? I don't know. How does this work in New York? Wow. Looks like property taxes amount to a lot. What the fuck? 20%? What? Is that like a government or like a big building for class 1? Single family homes are taxed 20% for property taxes? Is that real? Huh? Oh, there are exemptions. Okay. What are the exemptions for? If you rent it or something? Because that would be fucking stupid. Exemptions, reductions to assessment. Okay, where are they? Senior citizen homeowners exemption? Fuck that. They're the last people who need exemptions. Disabled homeowners? I can't really say no to that. Why the fuck do we have a clergy exemption? The fuck is that? Why? Okay. Okay, so senior citizens get the biggest exemptions, it looks like, depending on your income. Well, it says $37,000 or lower. Who the fuck is qualified for that? No one who owns property like landlords. So, like, these exemptions don't exist. Why are we acting like this property tax is what you would actually fucking pay? The fuck? Where did the tweet out? Like, why are we just... This is the example given? Exemption. The annual property tax here for a $994,000 home. We're just assuming that these people make less than $34,000, $37,000. I fucking... What the fuck, dude?
Thank you. Mr. Sliwa, what's your proposal for helping New Yorkers with the historically high rent burdens in either stabilized or market rate units?
Well, the first thing, we have 6,000 empty apartments in NYCHA. That is a sin. That's what the mayor can control right away. We need to move those families with children in. For those who live in rent-stabilized apartments and have their rent subsidized, Zoran Mandami, we need to make sure that the big realtors, that they have to pay a vacancy tax because they're holding off on those apartments. They're not putting them out into the marketplace because they want to flip the building. Not for the mid-sized landlords or the small landlords. They need the help. And there are a number of people in the outer boroughs. They own a home. They live on the property. They're not absentee landlords. 2, 3, 4 apartments, and they're deciding not to put them in the marketplace when somebody either leaves or dies because they have to deal with tenant-landlord court, which is an absolute nightmare for small landlords. We got to make sure it's a fair playing field so that the tenants are protected, but the landlords are protected so they're not stuck with squatters for 4, 5, or 6 years, which destroys their equity and forces them to leave.
Thank you. Mr. Cuomo, you signed a law in 2019 repealing a means test to live in a rent-stabilized apartment. What's your position now, and what changed in that?
The 2019 law was added tenant protections that had never been added before.
Okay. And?
Protections against tenant evictions. But to answer your question,
okay.
You cannot, Zoran said, the tenant doesn't have to pay more rent, but we're going to cover the landlord's costs. No, you can't do both, and that's not what happened. We did freeze the rent with de Blasio. We lost units because the landlords took them off the market because you weren't covering their costs. The reason the Rent Guidelines Board went up after the freeze was because you had to make up for all the backlog of costs. And this, I'm going to freeze the rent. And people think it applies to all of them. No, just the 25% of units that are rent stabilized. And by the way, it's all BS because the mayor doesn't have the power to do it anyway. The Rent Guidelines Board does, and he doesn't control the Rent Guidelines Board. So nothing is going to happen.
Can't the mayor influence it?
It's all this.
Can't the mayor influence this?
It's just more political blather.
Isn't that the point? Isn't that the fucking point? What do you do then?
Mr. Mamdani, you were invoked. You can respond.
You know, if you want a candidate for mayor who tells you everything that he cannot do, then Andrew Cuomo should be your choice. If you want...
It's literally what I just kind of said, but in better writing.
A candidate for mayor who will use every tool at their disposal, including the 9 appointees at the Rent Guidelines Board, all of whom are appointed by the mayor, then I am the candidate for you.
We have to go to Errol, sir. I'm sorry, you weren't named, so I'm sorry. We're going to go to Errol, talk about development.
Errol, my name was invoked. Can I get the rebuttal? Quickly. Okay, quickly. The mayor doesn't appoint the Rent Guidelines Board. He's wrong. They are appointed to a term, and they're on holdovers. And when the term is over, you can appoint. But it takes a number of years to get control.
Okay, understood.
Okay. Everyone fucking knows this, Cuomo. How long is a New York mayor? Is it like a couple years or what? Oh, look. It's more than a couple of years. Congratulations, Cuomo. What the fuck?
Candidates, right now we are just blocks away.
The mayor doesn't appoint the Rent Guideline Board. Actually, the mayor has to wait maybe a year or two to appoint them. So, take that.
Away from the site of the Long Island City rezoning plan, which has been under consideration for a decade at this point, and in its latest version would create 15,000 new apartments. That plan, like the recently passed City of Yes 5-borough rezoning.
City of Yes? What the fuck name is that?
Reflects a reality that hundreds of thousands of units, as many as 1 million new units, will be needed in New York City over the next 10 years. What is your plan to get new units built quickly? And the order of this will be Mr. Cuomo, then Mr. Sliwa, then Mr. Mamdani.
Yeah, Sliwa said before it takes 5 years to
His name is Swiwa.
build affordable housing. No, it doesn't. No, it shouldn't. That's an incompetent government.
To build affordable housing? Sometimes? Maybe in the case that you don't have affordable housing, like that's needed. Probably incompetent government decision, yeah. But in the case of New York City, how?
You can actually get competent government and well-managed government. I built LaGuardia Airport.
Is that a home? Congratulations, you fucking retard. How's that going to house people?
Even though he doesn't like it, in 4 years.
Great. How many homeless people are sleeping in LaGuardia Airport?
Okay? So don't tell me it takes 5 years to build a housing unit.
Where is LaGuardia Airport? What the fuck is he talking about? Would you build it into the fucking sea? What is it built on? It looks like it's built on a fake island. You mean you rebuilt the airport? It looks like it was opened in 1939, dude. But you just rebuilt the airport and you're like, I built an airport? We need new fucking land for housing, you stupid fuck. I'm like, yeah, it's probably pretty easy to build an airport when you already have the land secured and the ground and the permitting and then the zoning done already, and you just like change the framing, you stupid fuck.
You have to redo HPD. You have to change the entire organizational structure. You have the zoning, but you have.
There's zoning already done for affordable housing in New York?
Have to start hundreds, if not thousands, of sites simultaneously.
Okay. Thousands of sites in New York City. Thousands of construction sites. How many apartment complexes are there even in New York right now? Average, let's see. This is going to be kind of hard for me to find, but. Hey, Observe Games, how you doing? Like, how many complexes would it? Yeah, that's probably a better way. But how total complexes for housing? This might be really hard to find. 161,000 in the public housing right now. Okay, this actually isn't that far off. New York is really, like, as a city, is really big, eh? It looks like they already do this year to year. They can. It looks like last year. The Rent Guidelines Board says that they completed 1,000 construction. That's just units, though, isn't it? No, that's. So.
Private sector developers partner with not-for-profits.
Okay, is he just gonna like fucking detail what we already know what happens? Just developing?
Partner with CDCs. Use
Sick, bro. Use caterpillars to dig the ground.
city-owned
Get construction workers to build the building.
sites. Use air rights.
Use fucking immigrant labor and then tell on them so we don't have to pay them.
Make a deal with the unions. But this has to be
You're gonna do that, bro? No, they're gonna hire a bunch of illegals and then fucking tell on them.
the number one priority. The way I did 2nd Avenue subway or the Mario Cuomo Bridge or the Kosciuszko Bridge.
None of that is housing, Cuomo. I bet if I looked up every single one of those things right now, I guarantee you that those things were already there. And just because you like ripped the wallpaper off and made it look a little nicer doesn't mean you can build housing faster from the, from nothing. It sounds like you're really good at interior design, though. Maybe you should come back when the houses are fucking done, you idiot.
This project is thousands of housing developments being accelerated, expedited, facilitated. At one time, and we need 500,000 units. That's the way you're going to make New York City affordable and still allow the talent to come here.
Okay, Mr. Sliwa.
I'm the only candidate here on the stage who is opposed to the city of yes. Both my adversaries are for it. Make sure on election day when you turn over your ballot and you have the initiatives, you vote no. And you know how oftentimes I've been accused.
I've got to be honest. Who the fuck is this guy? I honestly couldn't fucking care less. He said something earlier that just made me. Where was it, brother? 2645. He said something earlier about like respecting Trump. He's got to be like the token fucking dick rider for Trump in this. Or else anyone else who wanted to go against Trump would be getting Truth Socialed right now. But he said something earlier that was fucking ridiculous.
What's the good of it? They'll bump chess with Donald Trump. They won't get the money, and then they'll blame Donald Trump. I will negotiate with Donald Trump and try to get the best deal possible for our poor and indigent citizens.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, it's this part.
We're going to lose. All the people act like you're going to take you to give in order to get a little bit. But if you immediately act like you're going to take them on, like, it's going to be a one-on-one fight, we're going to lose. All the people in New York City are going to lose. You have to be able to show respect. And I think if you show respect, you'll get respect.
Funny thing about respect, I guess, is when you let someone straight up put their dick in your mouth. Who the fuck, fuck this guy. What kind of fucking retarded argument was that, dude? Trump's gonna fuck us anyway, so we just lay down and take it? Like, what the
being
shit is that?
Expedited facility.
Okay. To the day when you turn over.
So I honestly don't care what he
your
says.
Ballot, and you have the initiatives. You vote no, and you know how oftentimes.
Oh wow, good argument, bro. Simon says.
I've been accused. How are you going to work with the Democratic-controlled city council?
I don't know. Politics. Just do it. Compromise. That's what politics is.
Adrian Adams, and the predominant Democrats, including many of them very liberal and progressive, believe no to yes. I have a simple plan. It takes a year. We have 25 Empire State buildings that would be empty and just have office space. It'll never be used because business doesn't operate the way it used to. Retrofit them to affordable apartments.
Empire State buildings become affordable apartments. I'm not exactly like an expert on New York real estate, but Wouldn't that be like not affordable apartments? It's a pretty large building, right? Is it the bottom floor probably would still be pretty expensive, I imagine. What is he talking about? How would you retrofit them to be affordable? Make them like bring your own stove and floor?
Manhattan, the infrastructure is there. You set up a partnership with developers. It'll put men and women to work, and you'll get your affordable apartments a lot quicker.
One more time.
In Manhattan, the infrastructure is there. You set up a partnership with developers. It'll put.
Why would you need to do that? Shouldn't developers just, out of incentive alone, build these things because it makes them money? What kind of partnership are you talking about? The one that doesn't imply a private market, or the one where you're retarded?
Put men and women to work, and you'll get your affordable apartment.
Okay, the only thing that does that is the developer's interest. So what do you mean?
A lot quicker and not be a burden to the outer boroughs and the residential communities, because you're in the back pockets, Andrew, of the developers who whine.
Didn't you just say we need to make a partnership with the developers? Huh? Is this guy high?
Dined in pocket lined you.
Let me ask you a follow-up.
What partnership are you going to give them? Are you going to take it instead in the mouth like you said earlier?
Mr. Sliwa, do you think each elected city council member should have basically veto power over whether or not housing gets built in their district?
Absolutely. Local control. Community boards should have their say. What happened to zoning? We throw it out? Eric Adams. This city of yes is on steroids, and he went wild taking care of his developer friends as he knew he would be one and done. I told you he was corrupt. I told you there would be chaos, and I warned you in 2021. You should have elected me mayor then.
Okay. Mr. Mamdani.
We need to build more housing all across New York City. Today, New York City builds about 4 houses for 1,000 people. Jersey City's at 7. Tokyo is at about 10. We need to do this by streamlining the processes of private sector construction across the city, by ensuring we're building more around hubs of mass transit. And we also need to ensure that the public sector is building truly affordable housing. And what I mean by truly affordable is housing that is built with the median household income in mind, which is $70,000 for a family of 4. And that's why my administration will do exactly that, scaling up programs we already had in HPD, like senior affordable rental apartments, SARA, like Ella, extremely low-level affordability. These are the kinds of programs that will deliver a city that New Yorkers can actually afford.
There was reference to the 3 housing-related charter amendment questions. I know Mr. Cuomo is on the record as saying he favors them. We just heard Mr. Sliwa say that he's against them. Where do you stand on those?
I'm appreciative that those measures will be on the ballot and that New Yorkers will be able to cast their votes for them. I know that we desperately need to build more housing in this city, and I also know that the jobs we create in the building of that housing should be good jobs as well.
What a political answer. What is your opinion, Zoran?
Yes or no?
Come on.
Yes or no?
What is your opinion? Yes or no, Zoran?
Truth.
Don't be a politician here.
I got it. They're pointing out what I was about to, which is that you didn't answer the question.
No, I think on the stage you can see 2 people appealing for the Republican Party's votes. And myself.
Answer the question. Answer the question for once.
My question to you was, do you support the 3 ballot amendment questions?
I have not yet taken a position on those ballot amendment questions.
Oh, what a shocker.
All right.
What a
Sorry, I wasn't really paying attention. New York's a wild place, man.
shocker.
We're gonna
Don't
move
worry,
on.
once he takes it, he'll change it anyway.
We're going to move it on. We're going to move on. The candidates, the rhetoric on the campaign trail has become more heated in recent weeks. We have reached a point where 2 of the candidates on stage here tonight have armed security. I would like to spend a few minutes to see if we can dial down the rhetoric. Mr. Mamdani, some Jewish New Yorkers continue to say that your comments on Israel and the war in Gaza leave them feeling unsafe and concerned.
Why, is he going to drop a bomb on your house or what?
About their future in our city.
This guy? Is he going to drop some leaflets and then fucking put a 1500 JDAM in your home?
Recently, several prominent
What?
New York rabbis took the unusual step of denouncing
Oh no.
your candidacy, including the rabbi of the Park Avenue Synagogue in Manhattan and
Who the fuck cares?
Rabbi Michael Miller, the longtime leader of the Jewish Community Relations Council, who is a friend to many of us.
Who the fuck cares?
Do you have any regrets about how you've dealt with these issues? And
Are they shaking in bed at night? In between the famine?
will your longstanding
Are they buried under the rubble? Like, what is going
views
on?
on the subject get in the way
I mean, like, imagine the emotional manipulation you have to go through to be like, I'm unsafe now that you're pointing out that Israel's committing a fucking
of your ability to be an effective mayor?
I look forward to being a mayor for every single person that calls this city home, not just those.
Man, I fucking hate politics sometimes because he probably wants to answer this with like a real answer, like, you know, I'm sorry, the rabbi's unsafe. Why?
Who voted for me in the Democratic primary, not
But he
just
has to
those
do
that vote
something.
for me in this general election, but all 8.5 million New Yorkers. And that includes Jewish New Yorkers who may have concerns or opposition to the positions that I've shared about Israel and Palestine. You know, just a few weeks ago.
You can support Israel again while still acknowledging the fact that Netanyahu and his insane government are committing a genocide and probably need to be trialed. Israel can come back from this. It's a country that can self-reflect and punish, take accountability for it by trialing its very obviously horrible leaders. Ben-Gvir, Yoav Gallant, Netanyahu. Does that make this rabbi unsafe to say that? No, that guy's a fucking retard.
Ago, I was on the M57, the slowest bus in New York City. And as I was seated there, there was a speech therapist who was sitting next to me. She told me that she was Jewish. She said that her daughter was a huge fan, but that she was not yet decided on who she was going to vote for. And she shared to me about her fears in this city, about rising anti-Semitism. And I told her...
Okay, well, just to be clear, both of these two sitting next to him, I already know Trump is going to do that because Trump is somehow anti-Semitic, but also like sucks the dick of Israel. So but you know, he is Trump. He has no values whatsoever. It's just chasing the forever, you know, admiration, whatever he can get transactionally to make himself feel better, and you know, whatever's best interest for him is good. But for the other guy, I mean, simply just stating the obvious here is not anti-Semitism. Obviously, people are taking advantage of it, but I don't expect this woman to actually have an in-depth answer for this.
What I will tell New Yorkers today, which is that I will be the mayor who doesn't just protect Jewish New Yorkers, but also celebrates and cherishes them, who doesn't just increase funding to hate crime prevention programs by 800%.
I don't think he loves anyone, man. Trump is uniquely proven who he was for a very long time. Trump is the most transactional, one-dimensional fucking loser on the planet. He is, you like me, I like you. You don't like me, I don't like you. Will I hold up a gay pride flag in my first term fucking campaign because it'll like hopefully swing gay people to vote for me? You're fucking right, I am. Will I fucking use the Bible whenever I need to but don't know a single fucking verse in it? You're fucking right, I will. He is the most one-dimensional loser on the planet. So I have no doubt in my mind that when Israel becomes disadvantageous to him, as in like more of a liability than a, you know, something that's good for him, he will absolutely be like, Saudi Arabia is my new best friend. Fuck Israel.
Who doesn't just ensure that the NYPD are outside.
But I actually think there's a lot of truth in your statement because he does really like authoritarian fucking like losers. So.
Of synagogues and temples on the high holy days, but also actually delivers on the implementation of the Hidden Voices curriculum in our school system so that children in this city learn about the beauty and the breadth of the Jewish experience right here in the 5 boroughs.
I mean, that was a pretty interesting answer. He definitely showed a little bit of care, but you know, he's anti-Jewish probably.
Okay, I've got a different.
Yeah, but can I just comment on that?
Dude, Cuomo, can you fucking get it together, bro? He didn't even bring up you. You don't need to talk.
Please. You know, not everything is a TikTok video.
He said that like 4 times now.
You're the savior of the Jewish people. You won't denounce, globalize the Intifada, which means kill Jews. There's unprecedented.
Why does he need to denounce the Intifada? To criticize the genocide in Gaza?
Fear in New York. It was not several rabbis, Errol. It was 650 rabbis who signed the letter, not several.
Okay, so rabbis are not the authoritative text in Judaism. Rabbis are essentially like little church parishers or parishes, right? They have their own interpretations. And I'm sure you could find 650 rabbis in New York that probably think he is the spawn of Satan and that, you know, insert a bunch of other shit here. But this doesn't really say much. How many rabbis are there in New York? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it looks like 6,500. Exactly. This is what I'm talking about. Jewish, like a lot of Israel feels that this is wrong too. Like, why are we just fucking hiding? Like, I say this all the time too. It's just like Israel can come back from this. You can support Israel and still fucking, you know, be upset morally because it's just fucking wrong that Netanyahu is just fucking committing a genocide. He's gonna fuck up Israeli soldiers. There are already reports of a lot of Israeli soldiers who are just going to be fucked for life mentally. And the international damage he's doing is fucking atrocious. So who the fuck cares what 650 rabbis say when 6,500 can gather in Brooklyn for a stupid conference? It sounds like there's a lot more fucking rabbis than 650. So go fuck yourself.
Let me ask you a related question, Mr. Cuomo. Many New Yorkers have serious grievances with Israel and the way the Israeli government under Benjamin Netanyahu has.
You should have just said you were Orthodox.
Conducted the war.
My Israeli friends tell me they love the Orthodox Zionist Jews because they cause all these problems and then they just claim religious exemption from the military. It's just like, okay, cool.
War in Gaza and expanded settlements.
Actually, you know, sorry, I didn't really engage what you said. I'm sorry that happened.
In the West Bank.
Jesus.
What would you say to and how would you handle New Yorkers?
Yeah, I'm sure you have to prove it some way, right? But the people who are able to prove it are still the worst because they're the ones who can still do that, right?
Who are in the streets, if
I can't remember what he told me about how you go around doing that, but
government. Fine, that's your right. Protest, demonstrate, disagree. God bless America.
yeah, I'm sure. I mean, relatively, I think leading up to Israel's creation, you know, via the Western powers was outside of like small conflict. I mean, it probably was pretty relatively peaceful until like I mean, England came in and kind of fucked shit up, 1890s, right? So,
God bless.
But they did that to every fucking African country in Middle East.
New York City.
In India.
And there is no doubt that there's two sides on what's going on, and the passions are very high. That doesn't justify.
A lot of this is reactionary, right? So, a lot of reactionary blood. How dare you? A lot of reactionary blood is exactly that. It comes from like a feeling of like imposition of a greater power on you. So England coming in there probably radicalized a few people.
Anti-Semitic
I mean,
behavior in New York. It doesn't justify having a Jewish population that feels unprotected in New York. It doesn't justify leaders who stoke the flames of hatred.
Yeah, the guy next to you, did you listen to him talk, Cuomo? I'm a little confused. He actually never said a single word about the genocide in Gaza. I think that was on purpose. He actually said something kind of poetic and nice about Jewish culture and mixed that in with that he will represent them. So what fucking hatred are you talking about? What reality are you talking about? Did you just fucking daydream the entire time you talked?
Against Jewish people, which
Like, do I have to go back and replay it? I'm not going to do that. He just didn't listen. This guy's fucking retarded.
is what Zoran does, in my opinion.
I'll give him a chance to answer, and then we'll go to Mr.
Hey, or
Stewart.
Matt.
You know, I've heard from Jewish New Yorkers about their fears about anti-Semitism in this city. And what
Stop with your hatred, please.
they deserve is a leader who takes it seriously, who roots it out of these 5 boroughs, not one who weaponizes it as a means by which to score political points on a debate stage.
Oh, wrecked. Wrecked. Look at him. He's like, how dare you?
Excuse me, Mr. Cuomo, it's my turn, all right? It's like 2 kids.
Yeah, I mean, I personally, Israel needs to try Netanyahu, again, Ben-Gvir, Yoav Gallant, and the current fucking defense minister probably for like war crimes. And I think maybe they could come back from this. But, you know, it's not like Israel's a nation that needs to be disintegrated or dismantled because right now they still have the capability to come back.
It's in a schoolyard.
Yeah, I heard you on the radio
Netanyahu is making it fucking harder every day, though. I'll tell you that.
this morning.
Zoran, this
In between every time I fucking check every morning, it's just like, and in later news, 120 children are fucking shot to death by. You're just like, come on.
is personal for me.
Can you stop, please?
I know you are under threat. The mother of my 2 youngest sons who are raised Jewish, Melinda Katz, is
Okay. And he just represented Jewish people pretty well there. What are you going to criticize, dude? I'm so
prosecuting
confused.
this person who came up and tried to do you harm. But let me speak on behalf of my 2 sons.
How about you speak on behalf of the debate and, you know, his engagement with the idea of representing Jewish people, because that's what he said. I don't know him that well, but like, why the fuck are you going to bring up some random anti-Semitic attack unrelated to this dude?
When they've heard some of the statements you've made, like in support of global jihad, and I hear
In support now? I heard him, the other guy, say that he didn't, you know, condemn the Intifada. And then now he's supporting the global jihad. So that's like very different. I'm so fucking confused. It's, yeah, I mean, Zionism is not authoritatively any Jewish whatsoever, right? Like, authoritative Jewish text is the Tanakh, or the Torah specifically. And then, obviously, rabbinic teachings and the Mishnah are like interpretations, the oral interpretations, right? And it's been renegotiated to fuck as it relates to Zionism. It's an unfortunate reality over there.
some people
I don't think it represents Judaism, because Judaism is historically, in early Judaism, not really something you can pin down. But Mark Goodman writes about this pretty extensively, was pretty open and welcomed converts, and was pretty freely nice religion, I guess. I mean, you can't really pin it down to like early Judaism is not something you can just go like, and this is what it looks like.
Jews, their time is due, which means the same thing. They're frightened, they're scared. They view you as the arsonist who fanned the flames.
I gotta Google this. You said that he supports the global jihad. Okay, for anyone who doesn't know what that is, it's not the same as Intifada. And then second, that's like an ISIS fucking, you know, thing. Nice, Dennis. That's okay. Are you showing your girlfriend that I suck or what? Try not to suck, okay? We'll look up exactly Mamdani's plans for the global jihad from New York Mayor. I don't know how to spell his name, I'm sorry. I'm just gonna put in the most biased way to say this too. Mamdani global jihad, dude, let's go. Oh, he has a book. Good Muslim, Bad Muslim, America, the Cold War and Roots of Terror, where he argues that the global jihad is seen today as not a religious phenomenon. Well, let's just go to the book, I guess, yeah? Let's go get his actual opinion. Fuck it. Is this him? I feel like it has to be. Mamdani. It's not him. Is it him? I'm so confused. His name looks different. Fuck. It's okay, Dennis. Yeah, I'll never forgive you, but I hope to see you again. Hope you have a good day, my friend. Why do I feel like this is not the same Mamdani? Of course, he's gonna say exactly what I'm thinking. Like, there's no fucking way this dude actually supported a global jihad. You fucking idiot! And it seems to me that his book, I'm assuming this is his book, is taking a critical approach to the black and white nature, political construct of what global jihad is. In no way did he probably support global jihad.
Of anti-Semitism. They cannot suddenly accept the fact that you're coming in like a firefighter and you're going to put out these flames. You've got a lot of explaining to do, a lot of apologizing to do. My sons are afraid. Their family, their friends. Many in the Jewish community are concerned if you become mayor because they don't think when anti-Semitism rears its ugly head, which it's now doing more than ever before, that you will have the ability to come in and put out those flames of hate.
Okay, yeah.
Well, I can't wait for him to say it. No, I support global jihad. Fuck your son.
I think there is room for disagreement on many positions and many policies, but I also want to correct the record. I have never, not once, spoken in support of global jihad. That is not something that I have said, and that continues to be ascribed to me, and frankly, I think much of it has to do with the fact that I am the first Muslim candidate to be on the precipice of winning this election. Now, all the same, Curtis, I do still want to be the mayor that will keep your sons safe, that will keep every single New Yorker safe. And it is my job to not only deliver on that commitment, but also to ensure that New Yorkers feel it every single day that they live in this city.
Okay, candidates, Brian's going to take us into the next section.
Thank you, Earl. And the next section is some individual political questions, one for each of you. Let me start with you, Mr. Cuomo, then Katie will ask a question of Mr. Sliwa and Errol to Mr. Mamdani. Mr. Cuomo, the last time most New Yorkers saw you before this campaign was when you resigned your seat as governor under scandal in 2021. The most recent Quinnipiac University poll in this race shows that 54% of likely voters say you're unethical. Meanwhile, you also have strained relations with Governor Hochul, State Attorney General Letitia James, and others. What would you say right now to New Yorkers who have questions about your moral compass and concerns that you cannot effectively work with other elected officials?
Yeah, well, first, you somewhat misstated the facts, but I resigned because there was allegations made. I didn't want to waste the time and distract state government. I knew it was going to take a long time to sort out. I left, which I thought was respectful to state government. We sorted it out legally.
Oh, fuck.
Stated the facts, but I resigned because there.
All right, debate over. Mamdani wins. Sorry. He seems at least the nicest. I don't know if you should vote for him, but make your own decision. Do more fucking work if you live in New York. But as far as I can tell after reading a lot of Mamdani's positions and knowing that the two dudes next to him are just reptiles in fucking skin clothing, I don't know. Come to your own decision, okay? He seems nice. But do your own research. And that doesn't mean, you know, do my own research, you know, like go to YouTube and look up like videos of the Firmament style. I mean, like, go read his positions instead of listening to fucking retards say things like, you support the global jihad. The fuck? All right, I'm gonna go get some food really fast, guys, because my stomach is fucking hurting, and then I'm gonna come back and stream again. But I don't know why. My stomach is dying, so I'm gonna go get some fucking protein power bullshit from Nectar. I'll be back.